And we're live. Welcome to Transforms the Show, where we're just going to be discussing the pre-orders, which are already appearing. I think especially for those who have got Hasbro Pulse membership and obviously the independents. We'll be discussing the independents and we'll be looking at should we actually do pre-orders? Should we follow maybe the independents advice, which they're now starting to share quite blatantly?
That was a nice save, Jimmy. That was a nice save because we didn't actually discuss who was going to lead off on this.
Yeah.
So you did a good job there. So obviously, we saw posts earlier today saying that there was a Hasbro Pulse live stream coming, but a little bit of research into it seems to suggest it is just the pre-orders, which some people in the chat are already saying they're seeing coming live on whichever particular independents and websites they're using for pre-ordering the Titan Tidal Wave, which is the big ticket item. So yeah, we were thinking there might be a Hasbro Pulse live stream about this, but there isn't.
Not me. I thought it was Fish.
Of course not Jamie. But yeah. But we thought we could still have a conversation about it anyway, because this whole Tidal Wave thing has brought up a bit of an issue with some of the independents. One or two who have a bit upset with maybe Hasbro. And we thought it was interesting to discuss whether or not it's worth pre-ordering, given what we're seeing or have been seeing in the last year or two with discount stores getting hold of this stuff. So first things first, Tidal Wave is out there available for pre-order. Jamie, have you seen it on anywhere? Have you had a look yet?
I am about to pre-order right now. Now, does that make me a sellout? Does that make me overly cautious? Does that make me a guy who's about 45, I know I look 30, who just doesn't give a fuck what other people think about how I spend my money?
All of the above.
But being sincere, that is really my choice. And I fully understand people who are not going to pre-order. See, that's the difference. That's when it's not gatekeeping, because I'm not telling you to pre-order. And I'm not going to try to guilt trip you into pre-ordering and think about the poor Hasbro mega rich executives who laid over lots of people over Christmas. I'm not going to do any of that bollocks, you know.
And that is the issue, isn't it? Because the thing that's come up is the fact that obviously we know from the recommended retail price that we've been told by some of the independents that it's $224.99 to £225, whatever the equivalent you'll be paying, obviously in dollars if you're over in the US or wherever you are, in euros, wherever. But some of the independents have obviously been upset that they have been buying in these big ticket price items for the higher rate, and then within 6 months seeing them in discount stores. Now, some have said not, or asked people not to pre-order. Maybe ask is too strong, but they certainly suggested that people don't pre-order and that instead they wait.
I think they actually asked them.
Well, they may have done.
Some have asked.
I'm trying not to name any names.
But I think some have suggested and given you logical reasons why. And you know, I mean, the thing is, just because you pre-order now doesn't mean you can't go and cancel in a day's time. Or, you know, well, think about it, because the post just came out. It's a lot to take in. Our phone's beeping away. But seriously, you know, do think about it and read some of these posts, because they really are making some good points. Because normally when you used to get a post from some certain stores, not the ones I've been reading today, it used to be, oh God, what customer have you actually wronged, and then trying to deny it. This time they're making really valid, good points, and I think it's worth to read.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. There's nothing that these independents have said that is factually incorrect, really. But it is up to you as a customer what you spend your money on and how you spend it. So if you are one of those people like myself and Jamie, who will almost certainly be pre-ordering this because we want to make sure we get it and as soon as possible, that's absolutely fine. If you are making the decision for yourselves to wait and see if you can get it cheaper at discount, that's fine too. Shouldn't really be a moral judgment on anybody, because how we spend our money is up to us. I mean, as collectors, it's got to be, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's a bit weird. I think it's the curse of social media. It's when some people like there's always a saying, isn't it? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And often sometimes it's not what you read it, but it's how you choose to read it as well. And I think that could be the curse of social media. You take things in a negative way, or when you write something where you think you're being benevolent, my curse, and it comes out like a dictatorship. You know, where you really think you're giving people choices and options, and you're trying to be sincere, but it comes like as if you're, I don't know, shouting commands. You know, as if you're putting some beach towels down early and
Yeah,
at a resort at 5 o'clock and speak with a certain accent. No, but yeah, yeah,
it's a difficult one because I totally understand where a lot of them, the independents, are coming from. Got no problem with that. But at the same time, if you are one of what will be, I think, many people who are big fans of this character and want to make sure they secure it and get it as soon as possible, then you probably are going to pre-order it. I get this whole argument about why maybe you shouldn't, but ultimately it's up to each and every individual. As I say, I'm planning to. Jamie, I know you are as well, and I think a lot of
yeah.
other people will.
I do I do think the price is a massive increase to what it used to be.
Oh
Now,
yeah, definitely.
if it's starting to follow the line of the last Titan, where you had a lot of gimmicks in it, there was definitely much more engineering in there. You had little wee things in there, and the QC I think was much better overall. Then I don't mind paying the extra if it comes with this constant increase in better quality control, better paint apps, better stuff thrown in. And I think in many respects, I'm starting to look at some figures, and I was also thinking to myself, because we've got into a situation where Voyagers are now like 32, when they used to be about 24, and the deluxes are now
Yeah,
the 24. And I'm starting to think, would I happily pay for 40 quid for a Voyager if his hands could open and close? If there's a little bit more engineering where when the foot curls up, it can go an extra curvature, you know. Fuck knows what they put. I'm not an engineer. I can hardly use a microwave without killing myself. But if it's got more engineering, would I pay for more? Probably, because I'm one of those idiots who starts to look into third-party accessories, which are very expensive.
yeah. Well, this is it. Like you say, if the engineering kind of justifies the price, that's fair enough. And things have gone up in price across the board. It is a bit of pill to swallow when you think about when you were paying £150 for a Titan and you were saying off at that point, and now obviously it's up to around 220, 225. But if the engineering's there, I think what we saw with Nemesis was kind of a return to some of the, I don't want to say gimmicks, but like the features, the fact that it becomes more interesting. And I'm hoping this will continue that. But we will obviously have to wait and see once somebody's got it in hand. And you can see, obviously, Mick shouting out John, which I may have accidentally clicked on there. Different people. There's some people saying they're going to wait and buy it cheaper. There's some people saying they're just going to buy it, pre-order it if they want to. Yeah.
I mean, people in chat, say what you think, and I'm going to share it on the screen. If you're going to pre-order or not, because Hasbro's the next big evil, which we should resist, or Hasbro is just a misunderstood deity, go for it. Or deity.
No, deity, I think was right. I think you're right. That deity doesn't sound right.
See, the good thing about being Scottish, apart from the fact that being a twat is almost a birthright, is when we can't pronounce words, we just put on a thicker Scottish accent. But there's some Scots in the chat, so I can't do that.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. I know for a fact. Well, this is it, because I'm doing this, and I'm not messing around with other things at the time. The wife has just messaged me to put out. She's just gone on my account and just pre-ordered it for me because she knew I wanted to go have it pre-ordered. I do agree with somebody else in the chat who said about the fact that there's a lot of people feel we are likely to see this a second time, maybe in the select range, but with Energon colours, because there's a lot of love for that Energon paint job that Tidal Wave had. The only thing, and I do agree, I'd love to see it. The only thing is, obviously, part of the appeal of that Energon version was that there was a lot of kind of translucent green plastic on it, which obviously would not work on a Titan class figure. So
I don't like
painted green. I can tell.
Yeah, it's good green, you know.
Well, I like the cartoon colors on him, which we didn't get here. The over in Takara in Japan, they got those colors for the Tidal Wave, but we didn't.
I mean, Paul makes a point. He says, "I just don't have the room anymore." Well, Paul, I would suggest you put your wife into a tent and put it into the back garden. then you'll have more room. You know, I mean, are you a true Transformers fan, or you're a halfway house man?
If you've not made your wife homeless to make room for the collection, are you? Though?
Yeah,
probably not. But it's
Wolfman. I'm not pre-ordering. I have no real affiliation. Well, why did you use a big word like affiliation? Interesting. But it's sorry. So I'll wait till the price comes down and buy it cheaper because it does look cool. It does look cool.
It does. It doesn't. Primetime Moth loves a bargain, and I get that. I can totally understand why a lot of people probably will just wait and then see. But I always hark back to the worry sometimes with was it Scorponok that became Earthrise Scorponok, which became
it's sold out. Scorponok, even a Mega Supreme,
yeah, a Mega Supreme. Yeah.
Martin says if I could afford it, I would, but I'll have to wait. Well, some Titans on the second-hand market are getting cheap, e.g., Black Zarek. You can get it for 80 quid, and you can get it from.
Well, you can get it in store. Yeah, you can get it in store for cheaper than that now. I know the game stores that do have them in. They apparently have a sale on anyway, and that knocks them. And I think somebody posted they paid £68, and when it's getting that cheap, I mean, it's getting, I don't know. Give me PlayStation colors. Yeah, well, PlayStation colors. Yeah, if you can have it like the game, that was the original kind of toy colors. I'm sure it was based off the original toy with the green and the purple and everything. But I mean, that would be good.
I mean, someone makes a point is, Jonathan said, I'm not picking this Titan up due to lack of space, but if I was, I'm not sure I'd risk something this big ending up in a clearance. I mean, what's the risk? I mean, is the risk that someone's going to come in and kill you because you bought it more expensive? Are you going to feel depressed and just walk out into the ocean? I mean, you're just going to feel annoyed, aren't you? You could have spent that money somewhere else. And to be honest, I think sometimes we've seen the discounts go down to about, 140. Mostly, usually start off about that, don't they? Discounts go down to 140. So, sort of like straight away, you're talking about an 80 quid discount, even before it goes even cheaper to sometimes 90.
Yeah. And I get what Jonathan's saying. I'm not sure I'd risk something this big ending up in a clearance store. I mean, it seems to, I think he's making the point that, a bit happened with the Omega Supremes and the Scorponoks, that if you take that chance that it's definitely going to turn up in one, there's the possibility it won't. We will see, because how popular is Tidal Wave? We seems to be a lot of love for him, but
apart from Mickey, our favourite Irishman, apart from IDW Comics, Sins of the Records, he doesn't know much about Tidal Wave at all.
Poor Mick. Never mind. You can educate yourself, Nick. Get on the wiki. That's always a good place to start and find out a little bit more about him. And I'm sure, in fact, that our good friend Chris McFeely's done the basics on Tidal Wave. So go and have a look at that as well. That's an interesting watch. But yes, so a risk of the store not getting in, Jamie. Yeah. I thought that's what you meant by like the risk of, if you don't pre-order it and you're just gambling that it's going to turn up in whichever discount store, what happens if it then doesn't? Because then you're paying.
Then it still doesn't really make sense. I'll risk it coming up cheaper. Damn that!
Let's not go all grammar teacher on him. Anyway, Jonathan, I get what you meant, John. Don't worry about it. So the pre-orders.
He teaches primary school. I'm secondary. You can see the difference.
You really can. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so the pre-orders are up. Obviously, there's no live stream, so we were hoping there was a live stream. We were kind of not expecting one, but we were thinking there might be. But
Borders did shared his life story, and we just wanted to. No real connection to murder. I would rather he did a new or reissued G1 style Metroplex.
Everybody wants that. Everybody wants the Metroplex to be redone again.
RJ, who's against the independence, has said he's just pre-ordered it.
He's just ordered it him. So good on you, RJ. Join the club. But yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it why people might want to hang on and not take a chance. But if you really want it and you want to guarantee you don't want to miss out, I also understand why you'll pre-order, because it's what I'm doing, and maybe I'll cancel it, but I doubt it. But maybe at least I'll have the choice. That's the thing. There was some other news today. Is it worth us sharing it now quickly? I don't know if you've seen that about.
You just share.
And by sharing, we will all become better people. I'm going to give a little bit of credit here to the person who alerted me to this, which was Toys R Us, which was related to something he'd spotted on TFW 2005. So a lot of people obviously one of those figures.
TFW 2005, actually.
Yeah, well, it's them that shared the news. Yeah. So TFW 2005 have basically shared an Amazon listing for Studio Series 86 Grimlock, which how do I share this now? Can you share that for us, Jamie?
Moff's gone into the light side. He's going to order 2 copies of Gears. I would as well.
There you go. So there's the story. So Amazon.com has a stub listing for an upcoming Studio Series 86 Grimlock with Wheelie, which we assume is this rumored reissue of it. Now, here's an example of a figure that some people didn't buy when it was out at retail and instead waited for it to drop in price, and then it sold out. And maybe now you'll get a chance to get it, but there's been a lot of people paying top whack for this since.
Don't want to be is one of those individuals, and I'm sorry if it's unfair and you've done this, but who makes a post on Facebook and says reasonable prices, not eBay prices. Just ask your people interested. The community is full of decent people. It really is, and you'll know by now the people who are the hawks, who are not decent. So you don't need to make that post. And please stop pretending you've got a 4-year-old child who must have this figure. You know the age on these toys anyway. It's almost like you're giving evidence you're a bad parent and you don't give a toss about the law. So stop pretending you know a 4-year-old.
Jamie's getting some things off his chest now.
Yeah.
I like that. I have to admit, the ones that post, and maybe some of them are genuine, but when they say, "Oh yeah, my 4-year-old really desperately wants a Bryce Scorponok for £80," well,
it's his favorite toy for the last 40 years. Sorry, 4 years. 4 years.
Yeah, those always make me laugh. Well, that was the other bit of real news that's kind of come out today. So if you have missed out on Studio Series Grimlock, it's a chance for you to pick it up. But yeah, I noticed the
Dinobots. The Dinobots are a perfect example of a leader class toy where they went to the sort of almost the marker about the way they could push it. Where I would have paid £60 just to let them finish off some of that engineering, which you can see they designed, or even Ironhide with his the flap over his waist, £2, £3 more, and they might have cut it, put it into sections.
I think the Studio Series, the thing with the Grimlocks, with the Dinobots like Grimlock, is that they're fantastically mine are well put together figures, big chunky things. You could feel kind of the weight of the plastic and everything, but it's those little bits of the engineering that, as you say, if maybe paid 60 for it instead of 50, you might have got like the opening, closing hands, and some more articulation in it, and just little things that just take it to that level, like we saw with Rodimus Prime from the Kingdom, and with Studio Series Hot Rod. In fact, so many of the Studio Series figures, not all, but a lot of them, that are really so well engineered, it justifies that price.
I mean, it's definitely golden era, mini masterpiece, whatever you call it. And Primetime Off, from Primetime Toys, it's always a pleasure to see you, and everyone else who shows up in chat. It's always exceptional to see that. And to me, sorry for swearing at the start. I forget I'm Scottish and I come on and I just speak like a Scot.
Come and remind us.
And try to dial it back. But this is good. I got a lot off my chest today.
It's like a therapy session.
But what do you actually think about independent posts, Andy, which are suggesting to people not to pre-order because Hasbro are taking advantage, literally?
It's difficult because I kind of agree with the point, and they are, they kind of are taking advantage of loyal fans, people who want to get these figures and have that fear of in the past missed out on something, don't want to miss out again. I'm personally kind of more upset at the idea of what these independent companies are going through, having been such stalwarts for Transformers collectors for years.
Yeah.
It has, let's be honest, it's completely coincided with the rise of the Hasbro in, I suppose, Europe as well. It's Hasbro wanting their products sold through themselves to make as much money as possible from it. You could argue, I think if Paul was here, he'd probably argue along the lines of that's just business. That's just kind of the way it works.
I don't know. I think Paul's got more of a heart in that. You make him
I don't know if he has, given the discussions we've had before, even about the no. But it's the whole thing is, I don't disagree with it. I agree with a lot of points they've made, but I still believe that if you wish to pre-order something, then you should just do it. You shouldn't feel bad about it. You shouldn't, And I don't think they're trying to make people feel bad about it. I just think they're trying to make people think and have a think to themselves. Well,
yeah, I mean,
maybe I won't do it.
Let's be completely honest here. The independents have built up the market in the UK. I don't know about other countries, but the independents have built up the market in the UK. I know, obviously, Robot Recruits and In-Demand Toys and Kapow, and especially those three. I mean, I think In-Demand Toys and Kapow, who are much bigger, they've always treated, I've seen, customers well. They've always tried the best of customers and always tried to keep prices low, which is a big contrast to EU independents, which I've seen sometimes increase prices over scarce stock. So Kapow Toys and In-Demand Toys have always treated us well. And I think when they're starting to make posts about how Hasbro's taking advantage, Hasbro's maybe trying to control this market unfairly after they built up, maybe it is time we start to listen. And I say this is the ultimate sad Hasbro waving fanboy with no soul. So yeah, I think the posts do deserve some reflection and judgment.
Definitely. And if people are watching, and if you're somebody who has decided not to pre-order, and feel that strongly about it, and you've done that, that's absolutely fine. Obviously, that's your choice, but that's the point. It's everybody can make their own minds up about this, what they want to do. And I just hope for those people who do hold off their pre-orders or whatever and would normally pre-order, that they're still able to get hold of it at some point down the line. I'm sure you will be. Let's be honest. I think some of the things that have been said about certain figures is that the market's been flooded with them, which is why they end up at these discount stores. Maybe that'll be the case again. We shall see, I suppose. But yeah.
And remember, there's plenty of people who have got voices in this community who can't wait for these things to go down in price because they'll go out and buy them en masse, go around all the different stores, and then we'll be selling them at increased prices. Where the thing with independents, when they go down in price, the independents trying to make it one per customer and try to make sure everyone has a fair chance of buying these toys.
And we should say as well, it's not just obviously In-Demand and Kapow. They're the two that I'd say are probably the main ones and they're stalwarts. But there's a lot of independents that are out there now.
And if Kapow Toys or In-Demand would like to sponsor our show, we'll make sure never to mention the other store.
Jamie cancels pre-orders and everything. If you can put one aside for him. Anyway, so there's you got to make your own minds up, people. At the end of the day, you got to do what you want to do. It's your money, so you decide how you.
I've been down. Think to yourself, what would Jamie do in this situation?
I was literally going to say other thing. What would Jamie do?
Maybe do the opposite.
Do that, but with less swearing. Anyway, I think probably considering there isn't an actual live stream, unless we're missing something, and and that would be. I tell you what, that would be gutting, wouldn't it? If there was a live stream, we weren't looking because we're too busy yapping on about it. But I'm not aware of anything going on at the moment. So yeah, pre-orders are up. By all means, if you wish to pre-order it, go out and do so. If you agree with the independents and you want to save some money,
I think RJ's been screaming that Galvatron's confirmed by looking at the back of the box of the Titan, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he said, but we knew Galvatron was coming. You are right. He sent a picture. Let me see if I can share it. Go on.
Yeah.
Just for you, not you, Jamie, but just for.
But that has been confirmed, so I guess.
Yeah, we knew it was coming, but I don't think we'd seen an actual picture. And I don't want to sound, but it is just Megatron in different colors. Now, whether they give us something else to go with it that makes it a bit more than that, I don't know.
Like
We will have to wait.
shoulders would be good.
Let me just see and make sure that I've got this ready for us to have a look at. There we go. I think that's it. Right, I'm going to get rid of that and manage to click on the wrong thing. It's like when Paul's trying to download a video. Right. Okay. I'm not really sure. RJ just sent me a very disturbing message. I'm not really sure what it means. I'm not going to read it out. But whatever that was about, RJ, please don't do that message like that. It doesn't make sense. Right, here we go. We're ready to go. There we go. You just share that for us, Jamie.
Yeah, sure. Just do that right.
There we are. So basically, what RJ was pointing out to us, friend of the show RJ, is that on the back of the box art, you can see a picture of the Galvatron that we're getting, the Armada Universe Galvatron, which is just repainted. Now, it may have more. Don't know. You might feel that colours-wise, it goes nicer with Tidal Wave.
Well, they certainly made the gun more penis colour, didn't they? They went for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those are the colours. To be fair, those are the colours. So
those crazy Japanese.
But if you're after it, there's another thing you're about. I don't know. I don't want to say I'm not going to buy it because then I'll end up buying it at some point. But I have to admit, I'm not in any mad rush to buy it.
I must admit, I probably won't. I'm starting not to buy. It's like the Grimlock. Grimlock came out with not the shattered glass version. I bought that because oh my god, it was gorgeous, the shattered glass version. But you had the G2 version, which was also pretty damn good. But I fought myself not to buy it because I was literally going to have 3 Grimlocks, just with different paint apps.
That Grimlock mold is. It's just fun. It's just big chunky. It's literally you take that G1 figure and give it all of the modern engineering and size and everything, and that's what that Grimlock is. I mean, not everybody's a fan. I think Guzzy said he wasn't happy with it particularly, and that's fine.
Guzzy, you seem to go hot and cold. You go extreme to I want moderate Guzzy. Guzzy who's moderate.
Moderate Guzzy. I'll take a moderate Guzzy, please. Anyway, that was the only other piece of news, unless RJ has randomly sent me something else, which he may well have done. But thank you, RJ, for
Pepsi Max, a choice of a new generation.
Is that cherry as well?
Yeah, I've been saying that for like 20 years.
So if Pepsi wanted to sponsor us,
yeah,
that'd be
the choice of an old generation.
Mature.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
Like
mature.
Yeah, like milk. No.
Oh, sorry, I just saw Paul's message about why you couldn't join. Anyway, I'll let you read that yourself, Jamie.
What's he doing?
I can't.
Masturbation Tuesday.
Something like that. Yeah, it's not a million miles off. Oh dear. Anyway, right.
Paul's doing his best. He's either doing his bit for the wildlife or it's dodgy.
I don't know. It's the little bit he added on underneath it that worried me.
Let me read.
Anyway, so we definitely won't be sharing that. Sorry, everyone. Right, shall we call it a day then? Because I think we've talked about everything we need to talk about for this pre-order. Tidal Wave looks good.
Yeah.
Pre-orders are up. Your choice whether you want to get them or not.
Yes, and just remember, with this fandom, it's always up to you. It's always your choice. Don't let people dictate you or try to play some moral ground as if there's some religious cult fanatic from, some latest Inquisition. Just do what you want to do. Have fun. And enjoy it.
Within the law.
Within the law.
Not always.
Within the law.
Don't just go out and do whatever you want.
I'm not sure why we needed to add that bit in, but apparently
I feel like it was worth it. We know our audience. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. And we'll see you on Friday for the usual regular show. Will you be there, Jamie?
Oh yes, I might be.
Let's see how it goes after this.
We're wearing the same T-shirt because this T-shirt looks good.
Oh God, I hope you've watched it.
Taking it off and preserving it to Friday. All right, bye.